Hello and welcome to FortiGuard Live. I'm Derek Mankey, and once again, as always, joining me is Amar Lakhani. How you doing, Amar?
I am living the dream, as always, Derek. Doing wonderful.
Yeah, like we like to say, creating and living it. We're innovators here, right? No exception at FortiGuard Labs and the research we're doing. So and no exception with cyber criminals. And so let's talk a little bit about what's been happening lately. Of course, it's tax season. There's a lot of seasonal things that come up every year that we observe on the threat landscape. We talked about every day being a Cyber Monday before, and that holds true for online shopping. Now we have obviously tax season, and it's really what I'm in my mind referring to as fusion phishing, because you have cyber criminals effectively adding more tackle and more bait to their phishing lures. And how are they doing this? They're doing this by combining COVID-19 and tax season. I mean, it's simple but effective, right? Like we saw in our spam traps a whole bunch of targeted lures that are doing everything from impending tax deadlines to policy changes to credits, tax credits. Everyone likes money. But they're still using some of the same old tricks that are working. So we observed one scam in our blog that was attaching a malicious Excel worksheet that actually led to a dropper downloader related to TrickBot. So there's a lot of melding happening here, right?
Yeah, so tax scams are nothing new. They've been happening every year. Of course, this year, probably more complicated than it's ever been because of all the tax changes, especially here in the US, stimulus money, way people are reporting things. So it makes it very difficult. And a lot of people are getting emails, either being solicited for, professional firms offering help. Some things look like they're appearing from the government saying make sure you're filling this out correctly or claiming the correct things. So you don't have a hassle afterwards. And of course, that makes it a perfect storm, a perfect opportunity for attackers. But it seems like I remember even just years ago, must be 10 years ago, when I first got my first call, from the IRS here in the US saying hey, give us, pay us a lot of money to get rid of your tax problems. And I was like, what is this? It's been going on for a very long time. And it's not only just in emails, like you said, in phishing. They'll lure you from phone calls and text messages. Even some mobile apps are showing up that may not be legitimate. So you have to be on the lookout always for that.
Yeah, and it's a good point. It's not just the email vector, it's the phishing, the voice phishing, and they're using basically any vehicle they can, because again, this is a really effective tool when it comes to combining those lures. The other thing we're seeing is ghost return services. So these are essentially cloud-based fake, return services and software too. And so, because there's two sides to it, right? There's the phishing, obviously, where they're going after trying to directly connect with the user to get credentials. Also, to install, ransomware is a big thing, like we saw related to the TrickBot lures. But there's a watering hole side, right? They know people at some point are going to be going to file their tax returns, and there's that whole side where they're essentially setting up these fake services as well. And that's something definitely to watch out for, especially if a user is just starting to use new tax software. I think it's really important to do some homework there.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for a lot of people to try new services. You have your big players in the market, and a lot of people think hey, can I get a better deal somewhere else? Can I get something else? And so they'll try different services. They're not always necessarily checking if they're legitimate services or not. So, and it's sometimes very hard to tell because they look very legitimate. The websites look very, very professional.
Yeah, for sure. So switching gears, I know we were talking about this just the other day. It's not just tax scams that are happening out there. There's a lot of scams out there. As I said, cyber criminals are always innovating. One of the hottest things in the last year really has been cryptocurrency, as we all know. What are you seeing in regards to crypto scams?
Well, first of all, cryptocurrency, what a good time to be in cryptocurrency, right? Especially if you're in Dogecoin or Dogecoin, however you say it, right? And I'm not promoting or endorsing anything, but I mean, as you probably know, as a lot of our listeners or viewers know, is that cryptocurrency is on the rise. It's exploding. And what that means is there's a lot of opportunity for attackers. Like when Bitcoins are at $60,000 a Bitcoin, there's a lot more motivation than there was when it was at $7,000 to $8,000 a Bitcoin, because they know they can make a lot more money at it, and they know they can even hold on to it for a little bit. They don't have to cash out for a while because it is continuing to rise in value. So cryptocurrency, the rise in cryptocurrency, there's definitely a correlation with the rise of ransomware as well as other attacks as well, because most attacks, as we've discussed a few times, are financially motivated.
Yeah, and when people are going to bring out their phishing lures, anything related to a hot trending topic or market like crypto is fair game to them too, right?
Yeah, some of the things we've seen, obviously, in crypto is just like really simple scams, like things on social media where someone is, advertising a cryptocurrency, but it may not really be there. We've also seen where we've had legitimate accounts of, celebrities that have been taken over and have said like, hey, I'm endorsing this cryptocurrency. And all of a sudden that cryptocurrency starts shooting up, and it's like a pump and dump technique. Basically, the attackers will take that value and then dump it, and then when the account is recovered, the price obviously drops. There have been things like donate some money in cryptocurrency and we'll match it. Usually, once again, taking over on social media a celebrity's account, but that was never a real thing. It was never a real charity. So there's been a lot of different scams in a lot of different ways. And I'm just obviously talking about the non-technical scams. When we talk about the technical scams, the ransomware, some of the other attacks, even blockchain attacks, we're starting to see more and more sophistication come up in this field.
Yeah, absolutely. Something to look out for. Talking about platforms too, of course. So we have social media has always been used as a preferred platform for attacks when it comes to knowing other peers in your network and really trying to leverage those trusted connections. But now we're also seeing the untrusted connections through popular job recruitment sites, as an example, where a lot of fake jobs are also being put on these platforms, because again, I think a lot of people, with the economies opening up and a lot of people eager to get extra income, and everyone's always trying to follow the money, right? So get extra income to possibly looking at a new job prospect. Again, I think it's something that people really have to look out for, because we've seen these circulating already.
Right. So obviously there's some big social media sites that cater to what I call the professional social media site, where they have like job offers, they have someone's career online, and you get solicited, you get a lot of emails, you get a lot of text messages from recruiters asking you like, are you interested in a job? Obviously, that's very sensitive, and attackers know this. They're always trying to find out how they can connect with you emotionally. And when you have a job, right? When you get a job offer, you're trying to put your best foot forward.
Exactly.
You're usually giving out way more information than you would in any other platform. And then when someone says, "Hey, click on this link, schedule a meeting, let's get on an online calendar," or here's a link to our company. You're of course, like a lot of people are clicking on it. I mean, I can't blame them, especially, in the economy and the environment, when people are looking for jobs, they're trying to get ahead. I mean, there's no way you can blame them. And of course, they open themselves up emotionally and now technically to an attack.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. I think it puts people potentially in a very vulnerable position there, especially when they have that flag saying, yes, I'm open to a job. I mean, that is also an open invitation to cyber criminals, right? And I think it's something that can also be definitely used as in spear phishing as well, right? When it comes to these targeted attacks. So there's a lot of personal information, especially on updated CVs, things that might not be posted on the internet, about history and background, and obviously also using that to fish for more info too.
Yeah, and not only to fish for more info against the individual, but if you already know where they're working at, and of course you're going to know where they're working at by looking at their CV or their resume, and then you know kind of what devices they're using. If they're a network administrator using vendor A, B, and C, they're going to have, hey, I have experience with this vendor or this technology. And now an attacker not only knows about you, but they know about the organization that you work with.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so those are three big scams to look out for. I'm sure, and I know there are more. So we'll continue to follow this. Thanks again for joining me, Amar, as always. You can check out all our greatest blog and research on Fortinet.com on our blog. And this is Derek Mankey once again with FortiGuard Live. Thanks for watching.